This is a request that came from the crowd tonight, and amazingly, it came from more than one person. At this point, I would like to ask anyone in this room who's a cancer survivor to stand up. Anybody in this room that's a cancer survivor? I know you, and you breast cancer survivor right there like a nut. Now, I'd also like to ask anybody in this room that is related to or friends of a cancer survivor to stand up. Anybody who knows a cancer survivor, please stand up. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how many lives we affect every time we do the Show Your Heart Ball. And now it is an amazing honor of mine to introduce to you a brand new cancer survivor, fresh scars and new hair and all. We met him through family camp. He was a counselor at camp this year, and now he's already become a public speaker. He's not even out of high school yet. My friend, it is an honor for me to tell people that I know you. Please put your hands together for Tim Cruz. Oh wait, he's out of high school. Shows what I know.
Good evening. I was what you would consider a normal teenager a year and a half ago. Things were going well for me. I had good grades, I was well fit, and I was part of the school band. But things like that can change so quickly. On May 25th of 2006, I had my first doctor's appointment about a bulge on the back of my neck that would soon lead to many more. After the removal of what we thought was a cyst, the news was brought back on August 2nd, 2006. I had cancer. When you hear of cancer, you think that it could never happen to you. It's quite a shock to get used to all the new ideas that race through your head. On a daily basis, you think about things that you hadn't thought about before. Will I be able to get up the stairs today? Will I end up in the hospital? Will I die? Among these things, you have to continue on with what's left of your normal life. I had only received the news that I had cancer 3 weeks before my senior year of high school started, but still went to school as much as possible. You have to try and make things as normal as possible when things are suddenly so different. I had to reduce my workload for my senior year and concentrate on things that were very important to me. Whenever I wasn't at the hospital or resting, I did schoolwork. Going over to friends' houses was no longer an option, because either I'd be too tired or the risk of infection was too great. My goal for senior year was no longer to graduate with a 3.8 GPA or higher, but just to graduate overall. Throughout my school year, I missed school quite often, sometimes many days per week in a row. Being that school was very important for me, graduating on time was extremely important. May 25th of 2007 was the last day of school for everyone else in my class, but for me, it was something much more important. I would spend that entire day in the hospital receiving my last chemotherapy session, exactly 1 year after my first doctor's appointment. The following week was graduation ceremony, where I was able to appear in front of my classmates for the first time as a cancer survivor, something I had been waiting for the entire previous year. As you can imagine, when going through chemotherapy, there wasn't much to look forward to on a daily basis. Besides making it to the end, which seemed like an eternity, there was one other thing that I was always looking forward to, being able to go to my first Le Mans race. Having been contacted by Make-A-Wish to have a wish, or to create my own dream vacation, it only made sense for me to follow my passion of cars. My wish was to go see the Le Mans race at Lime Rock Park in Connecticut. My basic expectations of this race were to go to the race, watch it, meet some of the drivers, and then return home. What I truly didn't understand at the time was that if you have a wish granted by Make-A-Wish, it's going to be bigger than big. On June 30th, only 4 days before my departure, the full extent of my wish was revealed. I was to be the Grand Marshal, whose duties included waving the green flag starting the race. Saying, "Drivers, start your engines," and handing out trophies at the end. Audi gave me and my family VIP passes, which allowed us to watch the race from the Audi Chalet. We also had breakfast with the drivers, Alan McNish, Dindo Capello, Marco Werner, and Emmanuel Apiro, and a customized paddock tour where we got up close with the cars and the mechanics. It was quite an experience to be treated so well by everyone involved in my wish. My brother and sister were able to join me in the pits during the race, where we experienced several pit stops by both the Audi R10 cars. While I was at the race, I was able to ride around the track in the BMW M5 pace car, after which Audi challenged BMW and gave me a ride in the R8 supercar, which hadn't been released yet. After the race finished, champagne was sprayed everywhere, and I was given Alan McNish's podium hat that he had won earlier. While on the trip, we drove around New York City and went kayaking for the very first time. I also went to the Museum of Natural History. Having had my wish granted to see the Le Mans race, I was allowed to stay a couple additional days to visit my grandparents, who I hadn't seen in over 5 years, so that I could tell them in person that I had beaten cancer. Shortly before my Make-A-Wish trip, I had my first experience of Camp Rainbow Gold, when I was able to attend the first family camp. It was only 2 days long, but after being at the camp for just 2 days, one of which it rained cats and dogs, I knew that I wanted to volunteer at the actual Camp Rainbow Gold. Me and my whole family had a blast. It was there that we were able to reflect on the previous year. So in August, I attended my first Camp Rainbow Gold as a junior counselor. Even though the week flew by really fast, it was one of the best weeks that I experienced. For the first time in about a year, I felt that I shared a bond with everyone since they had been through the same experience as me. We had all been down the same path. I knew that I wanted to keep volunteering for years to come and to help those who have similar experiences with me. I hope that I'll be able to help provide strength, encouragement, and hope for the future to some of the campers there. I would like to thank Make-A-Wish for giving me something to look forward to during my long treatment and for an awesome experience that I will never forget. I would also like to thank American Cancer Society and Camp Rainbow Gold for giving me a place where I know I will always feel good.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chris. And your pride and your faith, and carries it forward, because even in his first year, this guy's a future leader, and he's also now eligible for our scholarship program. Good job, Tim. And I'm Timmy. His proud parents are